Hey folks, it's Maxie here and welcome to another TEW2020 video. You join us today for another episode of Dynamite, and the first that is strictly with the Dynamite brand. So you notice there won't be as much star power as there's normally been, because obviously drafted to both shows. We're also going to see a lot of the Elite in the main event, because I need them to carry shows so we don't lose pop in the US all the time. One thing that with a late decision, which I've just generally made, so going up until the New Year Spectacular, the TNT champion will be in both brands. That's going to change once we get after that event, because I think what I'm going to do over the next couple of weeks is introduce a championship on the Lightning brand, because, you know, TNT champion on TNT. So I think I'm going to have a title called the AEW Live Championship, because our network's called AEW Live. We just won't make it a 24/7 championship. We'll make it sound decent, but I think that's the way I'm going to go, with giving it a championship, giving more things up for grabs, and hopefully creating more Hall of Famers, because at the moment we have one. Tony can, because he's the owner. That's literally all it will let me take into the AEW Hall of Fame. So we'll crack on. New episode, fully booked, 125 minutes plus your 1 hour pre-show. Let's do this. So we're in front of 13,801 fans at the William Neal Reynolds Coliseum in Raleigh, North Carolina. Dark matches include Ricky Starks defeating Tyler Bate in 10:37 with a Buster Keaton. That was a 60. With Anna Jay defeat Brie Priestley in 9:25 by pinfall, a 43. Getting better, Anna, slowly but surely. We had Mayu Iwatani defeating Jamie Hayter in 9:27 with the diving double foot stomp. That was a 49. And we had a debut for the embodiment of willpower as Will Hobbs, and he defeated El Lindemann in 9:27 by pinfall, a 34. He's been imported into this mod because obviously the early Killing the Business mods was very light, so Hobbs wasn't even in the database. So people that are in AEW over the course of time will arrive. If they don't turn up 5-6 months later, that's maybe because I've booked a bit in advance and they've only just appeared in AEW. But yes, that's Will Hobbs into AEW, into the save, and we've got him on like a 1-year deal at the moment to help him develop. And we also had a pre-show match that Terrible Wrestling and Non-Existent Crowd Heat. Jungle Boy defeats Kip Sabian in 11:52 by pinfall. This was a 55. So this week's show, and making sure we get a 100 rating, sees the usual argument between MJF, Cody and Pac, basically ensuring who is going to become or remain the world champion. Talking about obviously what's going to be the plans for the company going forward. Cody says, oh, he can go on both shows. Pac's got champion as advantage, he can go on both shows. And MJF says, well, it's a bit of a shame that he's banned pretty much from Lightning. Kenny Omega has the same opportunities, he's able to go on both brands, and he says he's getting ready for tonight's main event. Apologies to Cody, but he says tonight's main event is massive and the Elite need to pick up a victory. Just hope I've remembered to book the right match. And obviously Kenny and Sir Brody Lee have had this long ongoing feud, so Brody Lee's just saying, wherever you are, Kenny, I'll be there, I'll be in the corner teaming with Santana and Ortiz, and I'm going to make sure I take you down if it's the last thing I do for the Dark Order. So a 100 there as we prepare for tonight's main event. Cody will be in action later on as well. He'll be taking on Wardlow. So start off the show with a matchup. It was a decent reaction from the crowd. Subpar Wrestling, Samoa Joe defeats Shawn Spears in 8:44 with a Kikuina clutch. A 64. Just getting Samoa Joe more over, more momentum and more victories here. He's then attacked by a trio, and of course it is the returning Hangman Page and the Hangman's posse. Him, the Butcher and the Blade beat down Samoa Joe, who'd obviously beaten their teammate Shawn Spears. So a 59 for this 3-on-1 beatdown. Then the hype package for the impending matchup involving Shotzi Blackheart. Of course she is now with the AEW Dynamite brand, and she will be featuring later on tonight. A little backstage segment before this, and it is Nick Jackson who has tried to attack Eddie Kingston, of course, if you remember, Eddie Kingston, Luster and Peter Avalon beating down Nick Jackson's friend Brandon Cutler, and Nick is trying to get some sort of retribution, but Eddie Kingston survives thanks to road agents and staff members pulling them apart. That's a 65. Shotzi's matchup then happens. It was her against Camille, and Shotzi wins in 6:01 with Fright Night. She debuts the grunge rocker gimmick, which got an initial rating of awful. Well, that's poor. But a 37 I'll take. 30 to Camille's 46. Shotzi was not over at this time when the mod started. Camille is way over compared to Shotzi, so we had to keep her strong. Hence, that made the match storytelling and Camille being kept strong. So we'll have to build Shotzi from the bottom up, but we'll get there. We had the Women's Champion in action, and it was a poor matchup that saw Toni Storm defeat Ali in 8:52 with a strong 0. That's a 60. A 62 rated performance from Toni Storm and a 53 from Ali. So overall, a good win there for the champion. She cuts a promo. Unfortunately, for some reason, I can't get it to work where it'll allow people from the other brand to be the subject of promos. But she just says a few words about Mercedes Varnado, and she says she'll know to basically make sure she's got some backup when she goes to Lightning, but she is ready to take on Mercedes when it gets to the New Year Spectacular, and she is going to remain the Women's Champion. And that was a 64. We then had a tag team contest it was abysmal, but it had the recruitment specialists, John Silver and Alex Reynolds, Alex back from injury, defeating Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela when John Silver pins Sonny Kiss with an enziguri. You can see with the performances there, 23, 26, 26, that Joey Janela was far ahead with a 61. So I was hoping to use his overness to maybe get a good match up here, as we look to at least try and get some overness on to John and Alex. If it's not John Silver off his game, it's Alex Reynolds, although Alex could probably be forgiven because he hadn't wrestled in about 6 months with that injury. Surprised that didn't say it was rusty. But yeah, good to get the Dark Order's recruitment specialists back in action. We then had a backstage argument and another brawl, this time between Hikaru Shida and Anna Jay, as Anna Jay is starting to channel some of her dark side. She's still not ready to go full blown heel, but she is getting angry, and that was a 45. Then we had some 6-man action as we had the 6-man champions in action in a non-title matchup. They took on the team of Chris Jericho, Prince Devitt and Shinsuke Nakamura, and they defeat End of War in 14-12 with Devitt pinning Hansen with a brainbuster. A 77 here. Bit disappointed to make the champions lose, but I'm really struggling on bodies here that isn't in a faction. Technically that is a small faction, I guess, but the other options are obviously Dark Order, Uprising. So I wanted to give these 3 guys wins, momentum, hence why they were paired in such a situation. But a good match up there, and a good win there for Nakamura, Devitt and Jericho. Then I have MJF's promo, and it says, hey, I might not be able to attack Cody, but I'll make sure that something gets done tonight. Wardlow will certainly weaken him, that's for sure. That was an 81. And Cody defeated Wardlow in a good matchup in 12:38 when he won with a beautiful disaster. So a 76, Cody gains more momentum. 91 from Cody, 60 from Wardlow. So how will MJF get his revenge on Cody without attacking him? By making Ricky Starks do it. Although Ricky Starks, however, does try to get the upper hand and fails as Cody turns it round and nails him with Crossroads. So an 81 there. Cody was fantastic. Ricky Starks looked dreadful. And yeah, overall, happy with that one. Although, 1 versus 1 attack. Yeah, I must have Cody attack him. But at the end of the day, Ricky being in that kind of segment, hopefully will gain some overness to Starkman Jones. Which will lead us to our main event. It had superb wrestling and great heat, as we had the team of Sir Brody Lee and Proud and Powerful, Santana and Ortiz, and they defeated the Elites Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson in 21:56 when Sir Brody Lee pinned Nick Jackson with a running big boot. 80 for the matchup there is a bit disappointing. Brody Lee off his game pulls a 90, which is crazy. The worst performances were Santana and Ortiz with 78 and 81. The match went 22 minutes. Why did we only get an 80? Inconsistency, low experience. Could just be one of those things with a multi-man matchup and only got an 80, but still, that's all we need to get when we're getting 100 rated opening segments. We can have these matches, but still, we'll be working on the 6-mans until we get a lot more people in the main event scene. Ortiz has debuted a new power spot that showcased his ability to sell well. His psychology will be helped in the future. Perfect, because that is one stat we need to get up. So overall, 83, and we increase our popularity in 14 regions. So pre-show matches, pretty all over the place there. And then in the main card, you can see we're certainly working on stuff. We're hoping the exposure can help, obviously, our lower card eventually become our mid card. And then obviously some guy, obviously we're going to be using the likes of Brody Lee, Kenny, the Young Bucks, MJF, Pac, Cody as the main guys, but we need people to join them. I want to try and get 10 main guys in each roster. So the likes of Jericho, Devitt, Nakamura, and there's going to be pressure on these guys and Hangman to get and stay at that level. Overall, I'm happy with it. We'll take a wee look into the main screen, see if anything has popped up that is of interest. Fans are amazed by Ortiz. Yeah, let's have a look there. Fantastic reviews. Will Ospreay's beef with Zach Gibson, and Brian Cage is back for injury, so that's one of our injuries back, which is good. And we could offer a contract to Jackson Riker, but we're absolutely not going to do that. Brian Cage recovers, which is good. Drug test was at 7,000 and a 2.50, 1.8 million viewers for Dynamite. Perfect. So we're slowly putting together stuff towards the run to the New Year Spectacular. Obviously we know about Toni Storm versus Mercedes Varnado. We know about MJF, Cody and Pac for the World Championship. And there'll be a few more matches made over the next couple of weeks as we prepare for the first ever dual-branded AEW pay-per-view. But as far as we're done for tonight, it is a good day and good night. We are over, we are done, and hopefully I'll see you in a few days for some lightning. Take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.